Late afternoon, 2 o'clock Denver time, and the forecast saying as the day wears on, colder and heavier snow expected. Elliott spins it deep. Glenn Milburn at the 2. 20, and the former Stanford star out across the 25-yard line. Here come the Broncos and their Iron Bronco John Elway, protected by the Pro Bowlers Zimmerman, Schlereth, Nalen, Habib, and Thompson. In the backfield, Terrell Davis. He's led all rookies in the NFL in production thus far. Aaron Craver, a former Dolphin. Miller off 2 touchdowns Monday night. Pritchard, the wideout. Shannon Sharp, one of the top tight ends in the league. Ed McCaffrey in the 3 wide. Elway starts in the shotgun. Craver, and Craver a pickup of about 4 to the 30-yard line. Middle backer Tracy Simeon in on the stop. Here the Kansas City defense, all-pro Neil Smith with Joe Phillips and Sally Moore, the beef inside, and Booker for the injured Darren Mickle, Jameson, Simeon, and Tarek Thomas. He's had some big games against Denver. Bayless and White join Carter, Hasty, Washington in the nickel for Kansas City. A flag is down as Terrell Davis would have a first down with that reception out to the 38-yard line where George Jameson wraps him up, and Red Cashin gets his face in the middle of the screen early in this one. Against the defense. That's an automatic first down for holding.
Holding before the pass. Number 34 on the defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
First down. Hello, first down. Red Cash. You got to know. I wish you'd do it on 2nd and 3rd down, but he doesn't do that.
At the 38-yard line, out of the shotgun again. Here's Davis off the handoff. And this young man started at Cal State Long Beach and then transferred when they dropped their football program, went to Georgia, has another first down, 12 yards.
The Denver Broncos, even though they get in this hurry-up offense, still have their whole running game intact. He's right there. You see the lead draw. Big hole for Terrell Davis. He follows in there. And even though they're in this hurry-up offense, you think pass, they run out of it a lot.
Near midfield, their second first down. Fake to Craver. Lots of time for Elway. Craver running before he caught the ball as Tracy Simeon on the coverage for Kansas City.
You know, Phil was talking about they can run almost everything in their package. All their pass plays, obviously, they can run. The only running play, Phil, that Elway said is the direct dive. And when they do that is when they have a direct snap right back to Terrell Davis. Now, Monday night, he did that in the game. They were supposed to do it to Terrell Davis. They sent it to Elway, and he threw the ball away. So when he sent it to me, well, I don't want it.
Yeah, that confused a lot of folks. Elway said I wasn't supposed to get it, so I thought the safest thing was to throw it out of bounds. Over the middle. What a catch by Anthony Miller. First down or close to it at the 40-yard line. A dozen more. Elway to Miller.
Elway to Anthony Miller. I mean, and you can't have better coverage on the outside by James Hasty. He is there. That ball is thrown like a dart. And the weather right now, the rain, has not affected anyone.
Yeah, John said he hates to throw those wet footballs, but he's throwing it well right off the start today.
Very light drizzle falling at the moment. Handoff to Craver, and Simeon with a crushing hit with help from Vaughn Booker.
Dick, that's one of those deals where you forget to block the inside middle linebacker. And Simeon was the guy in the hole.
Loss of a yard. Second down 11 as Kansas City able to offer some negative yardage finally on this opening drive. Elway goes deep, wide open McCaffrey, but the pass wobbly and intercepted by Dale Carter. Carter laying back, and for the second straight week, this star from Tennessee has a pick.
What happens here? John is just a little hesitant, right? Shannon Sharp is going down the middle of the field open. He can't make his mind. He waits too long to throw it outside, and right there, the ball looks like it slipped from his hands, and Dale Carter makes the interception. Ed McCaffrey's wide open. If he had a good grip, I think he could have got it to him there for a big for a big game.
Because Elway steps up, and this is what he loves to do more than anything else, to step up and throw. He knew the ball slipped out of his hand. He didn't have anything on the ball, and you talked about that right at the beginning.
Steve Bono at Kansas City start from their 13. And off to Marcus Allen. And Allen with a gain out to the 20 of 7 yards on his first carry. Here's the Steve Bono Kansas City offense with Alt, Zott, Runnard, Shields, and Sigler. The blockers. Marcus Allen starts. We'll see a lot of Greg Hill. Kimball Anders, the leading receiver. Dawson and Davis outside. Willie Davis has had some big games against Denver. Keith Cash, the tight end. When they go to the 3 wide, veteran Webster Slaughter enters. Second and a short 3, long 2. Incomplete. Intended for the tight end Cash out at the 40-yard line. Elijah Alexander, the linebacker, drifted back in coverage. And here are the Broncos on D. Hasselbach, Jones, Michael Dean Perry. Watch 95. Simon Fletcher, the all-time sack master in Bronco history. Elijah Alexander back from injury. Dave Wyman, $4,000 thinner after his hit on Hostetler on Monday night. Aldridge, the other linebacker. Crockett and Washington are the corners, and All-Pro Steve Atwater, Tyrone Braxton at safety. Hager and Hilliard come in the Denver nickel, and injured Bronco Ray Crockett receiving assistance.
Well, the corners have been playing so well for the Denver Broncos. That's the first thing that Marty Schottenheimer said. We asked him about their defense. He said the corners are playing extremely well. This is a big blow to Denver.
Looks as if Crockett already had that left ankle heavily taped and favoring it as he comes off the field.
See Mike Shanahan looking at the sky, Dick, saying, "Not now. I don't need this. I've got enough problems."
It's already cost him 1 turnover. He doesn't want more rain on this field right now.
So Hilliard will replace Crockett at the corner. As you look at Mike Shanahan making another trip back to Denver as their headmaster now after being an assistant on a couple of occasions under Dan Reeves. 3rd and a long 2 just underway. And Cashin marks the ball, ready to play.
You know, you wonder about this field. We saw Monday night the Raiders, they lose 2 or 3 defensive backs in that ball game, and here right off the bat the Denver Broncos lose a player. We talked about how bad this field is.
Willie Davis in motion. Marcus Allen plows to the 24, and that'll be good enough for a first down.
Does Marcus Allen know where to run, or does he know where to run? I mean, this man is so patient, and he knows he needs 2 yards for a first down. He goes to the hole, picks up the first down.
Allen, who last week moved into the number 8 spot all time in front of Otis Anderson in rushing, over 2,300 career rushing yards. Looking for his 100th rushing touchdown. First down, looking deep. Willie Davis wide open, and he can't hang on. Coming over to save was Tyrone Braxton. He had beaten Hilliard, and Braxton saved a possible touchdown.
You're going to see Steve Bono dropping back, and what happened on the right side is Randy Hilliard tried to be a little too aggressive, hitting the wide receiver Willie Davis. Steve Bono there makes a mistake, lets the ball hang in the air too long, lets the safety Tyrone Braxton get over there and make the play.
Randy Hilliard fell down. I mean, you feel that was wide open. You talk about Braxton covering some ground.
Second down. Quick shot incomplete to Leroy Thompson as we welcome those of you who have watched Amazing Jacksonville gather another scalp, winning in Cleveland 23-15. The Jaguars are snarling.
That's Pittsburgh
and Cleveland.
I mean, they're taking care of the Central Division by themselves.
This is Dick Enberg with Paul McGuire and Phil Simms just underway. Denver started 3 first downs. Elway intercepted deep in Kansas City territory. Now it's 3rd down and 10 for Bono at his own 25. Throws it into the ground. His arm may have been hit. Keith Cash, the tight end, was the target, and the Denver defense. Here's the cheers.
There was nobody open there for Steve Bono to throw to, and really just did a good job of throwing it out in the flat and kind of getting rid of the ball before he was sacked by Michael Dean Perry and the Denver defensive lineman.
Louis Aguiar, who leads the NFL in punting yards, 46-yard average. Glenn Milburn back at the Bronco 30. Did a good job of holding up the outside men. Milburn has a chance for a return. 35, 40. And he is down at the 46-yard line, Kansas City territory. 27 on the return. Tony Richardson made the tackle.
What really sets this return up is the low kick by Louis Aguiar. He hits it on the line drive and gives Glenn Milburn a chance to look up the field and see where he's going. He picks the hole very well and does a good job of being aggressive, running up in there.
One of the things when you cover on a kick is you have to take a lane, and everybody has to be in a spot. And when you start bunching up, that's what it gives the running back like Milburn a chance to break out.
Ed McCaffrey to the right. Vance Johnson to the left. Fake to Craver. Throw, and again Elway looks at his hand, didn't get a clean, crisp throw.
Well, he told us the truth yesterday when he said, I do not like those wet footballs, and you see him shaking his head already. And right here, watch here, it's just a simple pass out in the flat. Oh, yes, right away it just squirts right out of his hand. That's a terrible feeling if you're a quarterback to have no control over the football.
Here's Terrell Davis, and Davis to the 41-yard line before Brian Washington, 48, and Mark Collins, 25, make the tackle. One from the Jets and one from the Giants that have now formed the Kansas City safety tandem.
Kansas City is going to make sure they're not making mistakes on defense today, Paul. So far, every single snap, they played the exact same front and the exact same coverage, worrying about this hurry-up offense.
But this time they went back in huddle. This is the first time the Broncos did this.
Shannon Sharp can't bring in the pass.
The one thing that I thought that Kansas City had to do against Elway in a third and long situation is run a blitz and send people up the middle. That time they did. Sharp was open. He just didn't catch the ball. And it looked a little bit like Elway was trying to guide the ball to him instead of throw it to him.
That's what you do, Paul. When these balls get wet, instead of throwing it usually like you do, nice and hard and put it into his chest, you guide the ball out there. And most of the time what happens, you throw it short, that's what he did there.
Ruined the punter and dangerous Tamarick Vanover, the rookie from Florida State, at the other end. He lets it go, and it almost hit him in the back. He got out of the way just in time, down by the Broncos at the 9-yard line. Reminder that NBC's got a special comedy blowout on Wednesday nights. 2 full hours of comedy. Headlining must-see comedy hits Mad About You, Hope and Gloria, then 2 of the season's hottest new comedies, Brotherly Love and Home Court. Don't miss Comedy Wednesday for NBC, 8 o'clock, 7 Central. 9-yard line, Kansas City, second possession, no score. 5 minutes have been played in this opening quarter. Weather cooperating, just a light drizzle at the moment. Again, for those of you just joining us, snow definitely in the forecast. Marcus Allen gains 2 up the middle. Hasselbach and Perry in on the stop.
There was a good example right there. The new Denver defense, kind of like the same thing Kansas City's doing, Paul. The defensive linemen are always working on penetrating, getting to the quarterback, and if a run gets in the way, tackle the guy.
I love that expression.
Yeah.
If you happen to be a run gets in your way, go ahead and tackle him.
Reach out and grab him as he goes by.
Yeah, they beat New England, allowed only a field goal, and then shut out Oakland on Monday night. Off play action, Bono over the middle, incomplete, and Braxton with another big hit to jar the ball free. Lake Dawson slow getting up.
You know, you talk about Atwater, Dick, and how good he is at hitting people. Here's the second one for Braxton. He is watching Lake Dawson come across the middle. Watch the perfect timing. That ball he thought was his. Dawson got in the way and knocked the ball away.
There was no pass route on the side of Tyrone Braxton to keep him over there. Otherwise, the pass would have been wide open. He read the quarterback's eyes and ran to the receiver.
Bono is 0 for 5 here in this opening quarter. for 6 as Dawson couldn't get to that one. Ray Crockett has returned and was there on the coverage. So Steve Bono off to a slow start. A man who has thrown 2 touchdown passes in each of the last 5 games for Marty Schottenheimer. And you've got to go all the way back to Hall of Famer Lenny Dawson in the 60s to find a Chief that's done that.
He happens to be about 3 booths down, Lenny Dawson. But I can tell you, I saw him before the game. He's not ready to play.
Milburn at the other end. Aguiar, a dying spiral. Milburn up to get it at the 46. He's got a wave. Blockers in front and returns to the 30. 2 big Milburn punt returns. This one for 23 yards.
The thing that happens on this play is Aguiar hitting the ball, but it's going into the wind. Watch how the ball dives. Milburn gets it. Now he looks for his blockers. They set up. He sets up a block, and he picks up 23 yards on the play. That's excellent punt returning. But again, Aguiar is kicking the ball into the wind. You talked about the rain. How much is the wind?
The wind's the biggest factor in football games when you're throwing it, kicking, or catching the football.
And off to Terrell Davis. And the rookie, who was the 21st running back taken, Terrell Davis. His idol was Tony Dorsett. He's got the same initials, and he has produced 4 rushing touchdowns already this year.
You mean old Nappy?
Nappy. He loves to sleep. His hobby is sleeping.
His hobby, that's right. He's part bear, that's why he likes to sleep.
Elway to Craver. And Derek Thomas not fooled a bit. Drags him down for no gain at the 28-yard line.
What we're seeing with this Denver offense, I'm sorry, Dick, what we're seeing is just conservative play calling because John Elway is having trouble throwing the ball down the field.
It'll be 3rd down and 7 for Denver in this scoreless first quarter. And we welcome those of you who have seen our early half of the doubleheader. The Bears holding off Houston 35-32. Here no score. 3rd possession for Elway and the Broncos. 3rd down and 7 inside the Kansas City 30. The completed pass to Miller. That's twice they've worked that slant to Miller, and he's going to be close to a 1st down at the Chiefs' 20-yard line.
It's a 1st down. If it's touching that line, it's a 1st down. And that line is the 20-yard line.
So it is. Elway has been intercepted on the 1st possession. Mike Shanahan, the new coach here in Denver, and just visiting the Broncos and talking to players. You can tell when players like their coach.
Yeah, you can. And everybody's excited about Mike Shanahan, the way he conducts the team, and they really like his offense right now.
And that offense is out of the shotgun. Davis, and Terrell Davis continues to tear up NFL defenses. What a pick he was in the 6th round by the Broncos.
Von Booker is the guy that misses number 99, but watch what Davis does. He cuts back to the inside. Von Booker doesn't have a chance at him because of the strength of Davis's legs, but that play was designed to go to the left tackle. He cut it back in over the center and picked up 7 yards on the play.
4 carries, 26 yards for Davis. He gets the call again. And drives to the 11. He'll be a yard short of the 1st down. Saliamua and McDaniels make the stop. Back on Davis, he was recruited to Cal State Long Beach when they still had a football program by George Allen. And Allen used him as a scout team runner. He said he liked me so much, he called me secretariat. He gets his nose on, at least it's a photo finish for a 1st down. I think he's the winner.
Here's another deal that's right on that line, which would be this time the 10-yard line, and the ball has to be halfway over.
It's over it, so that should be based if they've marked the field properly. That's a 1st down.
You had to throw that in, mark the field properly. You think these guys, I watch these guys. I came here last night to watch them mark this field because it's been a problem with some of the plays during the National Football League this year, marking the field wrong.
A lot of folks were wondering, and I like your investigative reporting, Paul, because a lot of people were wondering why the sod was giving way on Monday night. You were up all night finding the answer to that.
Yeah, they had a circus here, folks. See that? The ball makes it half over. They had a circus here, folks, and the elephants tore it up.
Yeah, even a good side can't take that.
Yeah, that's right.
There's a good sod. Look at this.
Well, this field's holding up better today than it did Monday night, really. And even though we've had rain all this morning, I don't see as much slippage by the players as I did Monday night watching that game.
First and goal. The full 10 yards to go. Fake to Davis. Throw wide open. Sharp. Shannon Sharp for the touchdown. Sharp with his second touchdown of this season, the leading receiver for Denver with 33 coming in. Well, the punt return to the 30, and Elway in the shotgun. Finish it off 9 yards to Sharp. Jason Elam adds the extra point. It is 7-0.
Well, there you see John Elway. They faked the run left, the play they've been running all this game, and this time he fakes it. Shannon Sharp wide open on the misdirection.
30 yards, 7 plays, 7 points.
See the touchdown play the Denver Broncos just ran. You see the guard pulling, the fake to the left, and John Elway coming out in that misdirection. Shannon Sharp faking that block, releasing out in the flat for the easy touchdown.
I like that celebration of Sharp too. That's a lot like Paul does. He starts all our production meetings out.
No, Paul can't do that. He doesn't have enough muscles to flex like that. But
Vanover at the other end. Elam's kick dying at the 10. Vanover has one for a touchdown this year, and he's hit down at the 34-yard line. 24 on the return. We've got a timeout in the Mile High City. That last kickoff, so from the 30, Elam, and it's Vanover another chance. This guy is dangerous. Elam to beat, and the kicker gets him out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Tomerick Vanover. He has a kickoff for touchdown, punt return for touchdown, reception for touchdown.
Now watch what he does to Elam at the end. First of all, the blocking is beautiful. He sees the hole to his left. This is what you're seeing, what he's seeing. Now watch him take on the kicker. I love it. Drop your shoulder, bam.
What makes him so tough, not only is he very young, not even 22, 5th youngest in the league this year, but he has so much speed for a man built like a linebacker. He told us yesterday he weighs 215.
He also told us he's the fastest guy on the team until Greg Hill came in.
Trailing 7-0. Kimball Anders with a block. Crockett trying to ride him down, but not until Anders has a first down at the 22, a 12-yard run.
What did Kimball Anders tell us yesterday? You know, they keep throwing me the ball. I want to run the ball. I was a great runner. Now, he proves it right here. He gets some outstanding blocks. Cash gets a good block. He gets Crockett on the outside, and it picks up the first down. He loves to run, but he says they won't give me the ball.
Keith Cash, who threw that good block, is helped off the field. As you look at Kimball Anders, he got the name Kimball. His mother was a big Fugitive fan. And Dr. Richard Kimball, she said, "I'll name my boy." He says, "You know, that was a pretty good program," Kimball told me. He said, "Mom said that was a pretty good, was on every week," he told me.
And that was a pretty good run.
You bet. Derek Walker replaces the injured Cash at tight end. Tipped in the air and complete. That was Crockett. Ray Crockett getting high to knock it away as Bono under pressure from Michael Dean Perry. And Bono has been shut out 0 for 7.
Michael Dean Perry said, "I love this defense." And here's why he loves this defense. His job is to rush. He does a move around to the outside. They have a deal, and he hits Bono after he throws the ball. But Phil, downfield, tremendous coverage.
Very good. So far, it's real. I haven't seen anybody get open down the field for the Kansas City Chiefs. The secondary of the Broncos doing an excellent job of coverage.
5 minutes minutes left in the first quarter. 7-0 Denver. Screen it. Leroy Thompson, former Steeler, tripped down at the 17 by Lionel Washington. A corner. 4 yards on the play.
Lionel Washington saved a touchdown.
Yes, he did. That was going to walk into the end zone for a touchdown if he doesn't get him around the ankles right there. Lionel Washington's 13th year, still not afraid to get up there and make the tackles when he has to.
And still can bump and run with the best of them. Inside the 20 this year, nearly 50%. 13 touchdowns and 27 trips into the red zone. Third and 5. Bono wide open. Lake Dawson. And Dawson is out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
This thing starts with offensive line blocking. You can take the pass receiver, Phil. I like the blocking. Watch the time that Bono has. He sees the whole middle of the field. He sees Dawson coming across, and he's there.
Yes, it was a blitz by the Broncos, man-to-man coverage, and you saw the Chiefs running all those crossing routes underneath, and Lake Dawson did a good job of picking his man and getting wide open.
Crossing routes take time.
Yes, they do. Against man coverage, you need time. Bono got it there. That's why he was wide open.
Kansas City does not have the right personnel on the field, so Bono will spend a timeout. 3:58 left opening quarter. Chiefs trying to tie it up.
D is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley has been helping people do things right. By Chrysler and the new Chrysler Cirrus Sports Sedan. And by Coors Light. Ship cold to bring you all that is great about the Rockies. Tap the Rockies with Coors Light.
Back at Mile High Stadium, the 200th consecutive shutout here in Denver. 26 years of shutout support. First and goal. Marcus Allen looking for his 100th career touchdown rushing, and Dave Wyman there to greet him. Wyman, the 9-year veteran from Stanford. He still is appealing his case in the injury to Hostetler. He says, I still don't think I did it.
Well, they think there's Brett Hager later in the third quarter when he blitzed and got a free shot at Hostetler is where the injury was caused. He says, I was not trying to hurt the quarterback, just trying to block him.
I've had enough injuries myself, and he certainly has. His career jeopardized several occasions. Second and goal to tie it up for Kansas City. Fake to Marcus. Bono, his third touchdown rushing this year. Here's a guy that rushed for 2 touchdowns in 10 seasons, and he's got 3 already this year.
You know the thing about it, what a thing that Marcus Allen does for this team. Everyone knows that they want to get him his 100th touchdown, correct?
Right.
So Marcus is out in the pattern. He's downfield, and Bono takes a look and says, wait a minute, there's absolutely no orange shirts.
Yeah, we see this play last week. We saw the exact same play almost. Steve Bono walks into the end zone untouched.
Try for point by Lynn Elliott. It's a new game at 7-all. So Kansas City starts on the drive at the 34 in Denver territory and quickly punches it in.
All right, now take a look at Marcus Allen, number 32. Watch this. Bono sees him. They're watching Marcus. Look at Bono walking in. He cannot believe there's nobody there. Beautiful.
Vanover's 49-yard kickoff return made it a short field for Bono. 34 yards in 6 plays, and Bono cashes it in to tie it at 7-all. 3 rushing touchdowns for Bono, and one of those was that record setting for a quarterback run of, what was that, 76 yards.
76 yards and no one in sight.
He could still be running. Elliott kicks it off. Good depth to Milburn in the end zone, and he changes his mind. He was about to come out, and Rod Smith, number 80, said, stay there, we'll take it at the 20. Well, Marty Schottenheimer back in Mile High Stadium in Denver, where he has not had a lot of success, but he broke the chain of victories by Denver last year. As we remind you that immediately after our game here from Denver, game 2 of the World Series, Maddox with one of those classic pitching jobs last night, a 2-hitter to give Atlanta a 3-2 win. Fred McGriff with a home run. It'll be Tom Glavine against Dennis Martinez tonight 4 o'clock on the West Coast. Terrell Davis, and Davis for a couple of yards into the grasp of Neil Smith. Our televised time is 7 o'clock for the pregame, and then the first pitch is scheduled for just before 7:30. The game 2 of the World Series as Ed McCaffrey limps off. Second and 8. Elway. And again, misfires, looking for Aaron Craver. As Phil Simms said at the start of the telecast, Elway told us yesterday does not like to throw a wet ball. And even though it isn't raining at the moment, the grass is damp, and he has had as much trouble hitting his targets in this first quarter as we've ever seen.
Yeah, he has. But what worries me, Ed McCaffrey walked off the field, was hurt, and I have yet to see Mike Pritchard, number 81, in the game today yet for the Broncos. So 2 wide receivers out. This could change their game plan somewhat.
This is when they lost before. They had two receivers out, and Sharp was hurt, and that's what hurt this football team.
Rod Smith, the 5th wide receiver, is the slot man to the right. To the 43-yard line and a first down.
You got to have a blown coverage here. I mean, Elway steps back, and I know he had a lot of time. Again, let's credit the offensive line. They did a tremendous job up front. They had 4 guys rushing. They don't even get close to Elway. Here it comes. Look at the blocking of the line. But in the middle of your screen, you're going to see 83. He's just drifting in there. Nobody covered him.
I think John Elway got a good grip on that ball. From up here, we could hear it hit Anthony Miller's chest. He threw that one with some steam on it.
22 yards on the play. Miller now with 3 catches, 41 yards. And at the 2:07 mark, Elway and the Broncos use a timeout.
He did not like what they were saying inside that helmet.
That'll give us a chance to switch back to New York. Greg Gumbel has this update.
All right, Dick, out in Oakland, the Indianapolis Colts took a 3-0 lead on a field goal. This is the kickoff following. Remember, the Raiders didn't score a point on Monday night. Not today. Napoleon Kaufman, 82 yards with the return. They're underway in the second quarter now. The Raiders have the lead on Indianapolis. It's 7-3, Dick.
Napoleon Kaufman with a kickoff return for touchdown, the former University of Washington star. Marty Schottenheimer. The Chiefs had lost 11 in a row here in Denver. And the nemesis for Schottenheimer, even before he went to Kansas City when he was in Cleveland, number 7, John Elway. And John told us that even on the golf course, he gets lucky against Schottenheimer.
18th hole, he needs to chip in to win. And what's he do? He chips in to beat Marty. Marty says, what's new?
Well, and Marty Schottenheimer, since he's gone to Kansas City, he's been building the franchise. Victories, the muscles of wins. His career record, including Cleveland, 109. The only shortcoming, Elway. Against Elway, 4-11. And if you really want that sinking feeling, remember those 2 AFC championship games.
Oh. I tell you, Paul, if I stuck a needle in you, would that do the same effect?
Same thing. Go.
Oh.
Bart Starr, George Halas gave the old Chicago Bear coach fits. Elway and Schottenheimer. Bradshaw loved to pick on old bum Bobby Lane against the great Paul Brown and the Browns. And Starr, Landry only got him once.
Starr got 2 of them, didn't he?
Yeah. Elway and the Broncos in a 7-all tie. First quarter, 2:07. Underneath, and will they call out a catch? No. Incomplete pass. Finally recovered by number 66, Tom Nalen. Mark Collins applying the hit.
What a good job of Mark Collins, staying disciplined, staying in his zone. He waited for the receiver to come across the field, saw John Elway throw him to him, makes the hit, and those are the kind of passes and plays where you do get turnovers.
Kansas City with 6 defensive backs, only 1 linebacker.
Terrell Davis spun down at the 47-yard line, maybe the 48, Anthony Davis. And a flag down as Elway and Neil Smith get in a Little debate back at the 35-yard line, and that flag usually means that the defender's been ticketed. Red Cashin with the information.
Roughing the passer, number 90, 15 yards, headed on to the end of the catch. First down.
You'll see Neil Smith come up the middle. Look at it, goes low there, hits him after he's throwing the ball. And I think that's what Red Cashin is throwing the flag for. Unnecessary enough roughness, hitting him late and going low.
Yeah, when you see a lineman coming in with his hands up going full speed, it's kind of tough to duck away at 1 yard. But when you have enough time to duck down and then hit the quarterback at his knees, they're going to throw the flag.
The 37, Davis, caught in the backfield by Anthony Davis, who is building his biography for Marty Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer, the 2 games we've seen these last 2 weeks, has praised this third-year linebacker from Utah. He said you're going to see more and more of him because all he does is make good plays.
And he's the only linebacker on the field other than Derek Thomas, but he is the only other linebacker that they have. Thomas plays the defensive end.
2-yard loss, 2nd and 12. Davis with a flag down, and Terrell Davis, that gain inside the 25 is going to be called back. 2 flags on the play.
They got holding on Shannon Sharp. That's the number 1 flag, and that was thrown by Red Cashin. He saw that one. You see a guy run around the outside of a tight end that wide open. They look right now. Holding. Oh, they hold him twice. It's got a double dipper.
The right arm and the left.
Yeah, they got a double dipper.
Holding number 76 on the offense. That penalty is declined. Holding number 84 on the offense. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards. Still 2nd out.
Dick, you're going to see this on the outside. Here's Shannon Sharp on the outside of Neil Smith. Now he grabs him by the jersey and pulls him down. And Red Cashin is looking. Yeah, Neil, he saw you.
76, Broderick Thompson, immediately to the left of Shannon, was also holding his man. 2nd down and 22. They pick up Derek Thomas, but Elway can't get it to Sharp. As Thomas, who has had some big games, 14 times he has sacked Elway in his 12 games against the Broncos.
Here you're going to see John Elway drops back, and the receiver again is wide open. Shannon Sharp going across the middle, and he just pulls the string a little too quick and lets it go low. But one thing I've noticed in the last few throws, John is getting used to those wet balls, throwing it much better down the field.
They went with a triple formation to the right last time. They're doing it again this time with the tight end and 2 receivers.
Flag down, movement before the snap. So this one in reverse for Denver this series.
Before the snap, false start. Number 75 on the offense. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Brian Habib. So it'll be 3rd and 27. Yeah, John Elway and a couple, well, more than that, about 4 or 5 years ago. Remember the success with the shotgun with Dan Reeves? And that was when Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. Now back into that shotgun and really enjoying it. Gives him a better chance to see the full field, although there is a negative. We'll get to that. Down the middle, complete to Miller, and Miller gets a chunk of the yardage, but just back to the yardsticks, he'll be 10 yards short. What is the negative to the shotgun, Phil?
Well, they all said, Mike Shanahan said a couple of weeks ago when they decided to go with the hurry up in the shotgun, he says, John, would you want to do it? And he said, yes, but one thing you got to realize, John, you're going to take a few more hits standing back there, taking a little extra time. And John said, it's okay. I'm willing to take those few hits for the big plays.
Jason Elam has been beckoned by Shanahan, and he's going to try apparently a long field goal. Ruin, the holder, will set it up at about the 44. That's a 54-yard attempt. Elam's longest as a pro is 54. Just inside the, no, it's a fake, and then the little pooch punt by Elam. And they're not going to be real happy with that. They'll mark that between the 15 and 20-yard line. At the 19 with 3 seconds left in this first quarter.
Well, anytime you kick the ball out of bounds inside the 20, they consider that a good kick.
Especially with Vanover, although they were trying to elude him, they didn't give him a chance to get in on the play.
I will be very surprised to see them punt. I mean, if a guy's going to stand back there and punt the ball, you punt the ball out of bounds to the left. Even if you're coming out of the end zone, you aim for the other 40-yard line. Don't put the ball in Vanover's hands, because if you do, you've got nothing but trouble.
Webster, Slaughter to the right, and Willie Davis left. Cash, the tight end, back in. Here's Greg Hill, and Hill's first carry of the game, and Dave Wyman nails him for a 2-yard loss. And that's the end of the first quarter in Denver. Second quarter tied at 7. Steve Bono, age 33, after 10 years as a backup, his first season as a starter from the opening bell. Comparing his first 7 games with Super Joe Montana, pretty good numbers. More touchdowns, less interceptions, better quarterback rating, and one more win. Joe even admitted half-heartedly, I thought, on the pregame show that Bono is one of the reasons Kansas City having a better year this than last. Underneath he goes to Derek Walker, and Elijah Alexander drops him at the 20-yard line. Let's go back to where Joe Montana sits, and he's with Greg Gumbel.
Right next to me, Dick. He saw how it ended in Washington between the Lions and the Redskins, tied in overtime. Darrell Green with the interception, and then is helped into the end zone from 7 yards out 17 consecutive times. Now the Redskins have beaten the Lions. Today it's 36-30 in overtime, Dick.
All right, Greg, does it seem like Darrell Green's been playing for about 2 decades?
He intercepted quite a few of my passes, so I can relate to that situation right there.
I know. I talked to him the other day. He wished you were still playing.
Yeah. 3rd and 9. Bono goes long for Vanover. Vanover makes the catch. Vanover, from a heel tackle, Tyrone Braxton saved a touchdown. This Vanover has become a sensational weapon for the Chiefs. 57-yard play.
To Merrick, here you're going to see him up top right here, and all he does is go down the field like this. Steve Bono throws it to him. He's really not open, but we talked about it earlier, Dick. You said his size is such a factor. Right here you see him stop, come back, get the ball, and then break the tackle, and really Tyrone Braxton just stops him by the ankles for going for the touchdown. Going up, fighting for the ball, something a quarterback loves to see the receiver do.
First down at the Denver 23. Greg Hill. The rookie Hill drilled by Dave Wyman, and that's twice Wyman has had Hill's number.
Well, and this one here, Wyman won't get fined for. This was a legal hit. Dave Wyman just steps up in the hole, and watch number 29, Greg Hill, stop right here. Bang. Now that is a solid hit.
Nevertheless, a gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Thompson with Wyman again, assisted by Elijah Alexander at the 19-yard line.
You know what I'm very impressed with today is watching the defensive backs and linebackers. Of course, Kansas City's, they're only playing 1 linebacker, but watching Denver, their defensive backs closing on a short pattern. I mean, they're just not making any mistakes. They are just cleaning their clocks.
Yeah, that's what they did Monday night against the Raiders, which stood out when we watched the film, is how they come up and make the tackle as soon as the offensive player makes the catch every time, not giving up any of those cheap yards.
Flag down, and so is Anders, short of the first down. Ray Crockett played it well. Now let's check the yellow hanky that's in the defensive secondary of the Broncos.
Could be a lineman downfield. Nope.
No, that may be an illegal block on Grunard, number 61, the center, got outside. And he's the only guy that was downfield.
Yeah, he must have hit somebody before the ball was caught by the back.
So offensive interference. Steve Atwater waves it off, which would call upon Kansas City to try the field goal.
Pass interference, number 80 on the defense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
I I saw Grunner downfield. I blamed you. I'm sorry. This is Dawson, though, number 80. Look at this. Now, there's a block downfield as the ball is being thrown. And you can't do that. You can do that in college. You know that?
Yeah, you can block.
And as long as the ball is thrown behind the line of scrimmage, you can do that.
Lynn Elliott, a 35-yard attempt. He's missed only twice this year. For the lead. Hooks it sharply left, so Vanover's 57-yard catch goes for naught. It remains tied.
Is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now and have Domino's deliver the ultimate deep dish pizza by halftime. Because when it's gotta be deep, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back. It remains tied at 7. Missed field goal may have been blocked by Atwater. Terrell Davis out to the 32-yard line, and Davis continues to offer positive yardage. There's Steve Atwater, the star safety of the Broncos. He was celebrating as if he got a piece of Lynn Elliott's field goal attempt, playing at a linebacker spot, and may well have.
Yeah, when we watched the replay, Dick, you could see the ball changed directions just as it went over his hand, and he was awfully excited coming off the field, so it makes me believe he did get a hand on it.
2nd down and 4 as Elway out of the shotgun under center now. Davis wrestled down by Neil Smith, just shy of the 35. Word will be 3rd down and about 1.5 yards.
Hey, one of the things in this area of the field, and especially going this way, they're going right directly into the wind. And Elway really, I don't care how strong his arm is, he knows this stadium better than anyone else does. You don't want to throw a deep ball here.
But when you throw the ball into the wind, the main thing is to be a little conservative. Don't take a chance and throw it too far down the field where you might lose it, hangs up in the air, and then gets intercepted.
Tracy Simeon greets Davis for a 1-yard loss on 3rd and 1, and the Broncos will have to punt. Simeon leading tackler for Kansas City this year, as he has been the last 3 seasons.
That was a great shot of the Kansas City defense. Howard's penetrating, and right away got in the backfield, the defensive lineman, and Tracy Simeon shot through the gap to make the play for a loss.
Tom ruined a punt, and that sensational 21-year-old Tamarick Vanover at the other end. Vanover racing with a flag down. And a good Denver bounce out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. We'll check the penalty. 50-yard punt if.
This was thrown way back by the back judge.
What's the flag?
Tied at 7. Broncos scored first on an Elway to Sharp 10-yard pass, and then the answer by Kansas City. Legal man downfield, says Red Cashin.
They're going to make him kick it again. I would. With Vanover back there, you always make them kick the ball again.
Absolutely. Punting into the wind, too. And Paul, we saw this guy last week, and every time he caught a punt, we all stood up because it looked like he was going to return every one of them for a touchdown.
I asked him yesterday if he would rather have somebody back there with him. And then, Dick, you said, well, what do you look for back there? And he said, the first thing that I do is I look at the 2 wide receivers, the one on each side, the 2 guys that are coming down. So what he said is I look and see if they're blocked. If they're blocked at the line of scrimmage right there, I know I have time to get the ball, and then I'm going to run with it. If they're not blocked, then I will think about fair catching.
Young man from Tallahassee runs a 4.4 at 215 pounds. This one is playable. And the 25. Rooted at the 33, and flags down. 46-yard punt, 8 on the return, and let's check the flag.
Kansas City's hollering face mask. I love the players, I like to tell you. And then Denver saying it's against them.
Illegal push. in the back, and that'll cost Kansas City 10 from right at the tackle.
See, Paul, all the players are going up begging, hoping somehow it's going to be a call for them. And all the years I played, I tell you, I begged as much as anybody.
You sure
did. It just never helped. They never listened. What do you mean, you dick? I sure did.
During the return, illegal block, number 50 by the receivers, 10 yards, first down and 10. That's a timeout.
Anthony Davis of Kansas City, the penalty, and you're watching the NFL on NBC.
Brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. By SLEET, posturepedic support only from SLEET. And by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement.
And the edge of the Rocky Mountains, I understand up in Vail and Aspen, they're expecting up to a foot to 2 feet of snow today and tonight. 7-all with 9:46 left in the first half. Bono, that's 7 straight completions for him after he started the game with 7 consecutive misses. Willie Davis with a catch.
Well, it was a good throw and catch by Steve Bono and Willie Davis. The important thing is, watch Willie Davis, number 84. He drives up and makes a cut. No wasted motion. Steve Bono anticipated, threw it in the only position he could, outside and low, and it was a nice catch.
Davis has 8 100-yard games receiving, 3 of those against Denver. Hill into a crowd to the 35. That's plenty good for the first down. Michael Dean Perry and others in on the tackle, including number 73, Simon Fletcher. Simon Fletcher, who has been a star here in Denver, a quiet one, told us that this will be in his 11th year, his last season. He has 95.5 sacks, the all-time record, and 5 doghouses.
And not one Pro Bowl, and that's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe with all the sacks he has.
Vanover wide left, and Davis right. Fumble the ball. Who's got? No, Bono goes down. Hasselback was there reaching 96 for the Bull.
Michael Dean Perry is the guy that makes this thing work, and because Bono sees him, Michael Dean Perry, number 95, watch his hand get in the air. Bono has to pull the ball down. When he does that, he gets help from all of his friends. But Michael Dean Perry coming upfield makes the play.
Using that rip move to get right upfield immediately, and like we said earlier, that's the quarterback's worst enemy when a defensive lineman gets in his face.
Using that cocked approach at the center's head, Perry. Bono finds Derek Walker all alone, and Wyman finally knocks him out of bounds at midfield. First down, Kansas City. 17 on the play.
Right there was just a good play by the Kansas City Chiefs. Watch here. Here's Derek Walker going to go across the field like this. Then you'll see the wide receiver go over. 1-2. That's all Steve Bono is looking for. The defense gets back, drops, takes away the wide receiver. He drops it off underneath for the big gain.
First down at the Kansas City 49. Oh, the pitch back. Allen to Bono to the wide open receiver, Lake Dawson, who drops the ball. Dawson at the 31-yard line.
I think Lake Dawson was waiting to get hit. I'm sorry, but Lake Dawson was coming across. Bono can't put the ball in a better position. We'll flip back from Marcus Allen to Bono, and look at Dawson. He is wide open. I swear, his head turned to look like he was going to get hit. He got nailed in the first quarter, Dick, if you remember, going across the field by Braxton. And here this time, he just dropped the football.
2nd and 10. Position of losing a yard, makes a gain of 8 on the play.
Remember last week we were talking about Hill. He runs a sweep one way and he gets 11 yards, goes back and runs for 9 yards. And we said to Hill, you know, we'd like to see you run the ball more to the outside. He says, yeah, but there's sometimes you have to punish the other people. Now here's the time. Watch this. Bam! He just hit that water. He said, it's time. You got it. He said, they like that, you know, when you hit the other guy.
3rd down. to the 42. Wyman makes the tackle a yard short of the first down. That brings up 4th down, and Marty Schottenheimer with an interesting decision.
Well, they're not going to kick a 60-yard field goal. We know that. Now, the other thing is, do you want to go for it? And I think they should. Their defense is playing extremely well. This would give a boost to their offense. You got number 32, and I can guarantee you they're either going to fake the ball to 32, Marcus Allen, or give it to him.
They're going to use a timeout, the second spent by Kansas City in this first half.
Maybe if they had cars, they could stop them. Maybe not. Maybe if they had trucks. Maybe not. Maybe if they had helicopters. Helicopters and jets. Maybe. Maybe not.
Marty Schottenheimer, the 52-year-old head coach of the Chiefs, who has brought back the victories winning teams that remind full of Hank Stram's era, 60s, early 70s, and the long drought. And one of the reasons he goes for it tough times, 4th and 1, a long one. That leaves Allen alone in the backfield.
Trying to get him outside. Everybody's in motion.
Yeah, this was just a draw. Denver offside. He wasn't going for it at all.
Looked like a Canadian League offense right there, sending everybody in motion.
But you can't have two people in motion at the same time, so they had to wait each time till someone is set.
Well, you know, a good coach has other characters as well.
That's right. Well, that's the thing to do. We said it's about 1.5 yards, and the only thing they could do in this situation, if they went for it, was probably throw the ball with this penetrating defensive line of Denver. So, you know, it's worth taking a chance in those situations.
So Aguiar will try to dump one inside the 10 as Glenn Milburn back for Denver. He's had 2 superb returns in this game, has Milburn. Flag down. Milburn lets it go. And depending on the flag, Denver will have it at the 20-yard line.
It was Darren Anderson, number 44, that left the line of scrimmage too soon.
Well, the Broncos can't hope to get much better than the 20-yard line.
That's
so
right.
One would guess they'd decline this one.
Well, I'll tell you, I can't wait to get back to Buffalo. It's nice and sunny.
Illegal motion by the kickers. That penalty is declined. It'll be a touchback, 1st and 10. That's a timeout.
That's why you're wearing the Bermudas today. 6:03 left in the half. Boy, Alan Paulson's cigar and the $3 Million Classic, and these fans using a lot of creativity in their cold weather cover today. And Denver goes to work with 6 minutes left in the half, and it's Terrell Davis, nearly 10 yards on the carry before Hasty gets him down. Davis, who leads all rookie rushers this year, over 400 yards.
Derek Thomas, number 58, is going to come in and make the play, and he's holding his right arm. He hurts his shoulder here. There's the hit. He goes down, and he's down on a knee. They're going to get him out of there.
Shannon Sharp also limps off for Denver. As you see Davis's numbers, more than the Heisman winner, Salam of the Chicago Bears, coming into this week's play. Plus, he's picked up 29 catches. He has over 650 total yards, does Davis. He's not a big back. He's 5'11", 200 pounds, just 22 years of age. So Derek Thomas helped off, goes off under his own power, and Shannon Sharp limps off to the Denver sidelines. Officials, have not called for a timeout. 5:24 left in the half. Sleeting now, half snow, half sleet.
On the clock, 5:29.
5 seconds added to the clock, says Red Cashin.
I like yesterday, Dick, when we were talking to Terrell Davis. He was at Long Beach State. They canceled the football program. Then he goes to Georgia, and we said, why'd you pick Georgia? And he says, well, I was really impressed. They had 2 helmets for practice. They give you free cleats, and you got gloves. And, of course, the other thing was, so it's the simple things that recruit players nowadays.
That's right. He said, didn't take much. You know, I wanted to go to UCLA, but they were delaying, so Georgia offered me 2 helmets.
That's it.
2nd and 1. Davis, and they try the pitch back. Turnabout's fair play. Elway goes long, too long. Anthony Miller, well covered. That didn't fool Kansas City. They only had 3 men on it.
Yes, 3. That's right.
You know, when you talk about that free stuff, when I went to Citadel, they gave me a free uniform. Al Davis talked to me today. Why are you talking about Miller, Anthony Miller, 83, left-hand side of your screen? You think he's covered?
You can see Mark Collins back here and James Hasty. Neither one were fooled. John Elway did a smart thing and just threw it away.
3rd and 1, and Elway fumbles the ball, and Kansas City has recovered at the 30-yard line. Tracy Simeon falls on the loose ball as Elway had the first down across the 30, but had it stripped away. The 2nd Denver turnover. Elway an interception. Elway a fumble.
It looks like John Elway maybe is just in a little too bit of a hurry right here. No, he gets a hold of the ball and just fumbles it right there. I don't know if somebody knocked. He fumbled last week there. Nobody hit him. It just slipped out of the bottom of his hands. Tracy Simeon's in a good spot to pick it up.
Did you see how wet the ball was? He said he doesn't like to be under center because the ball is wet under there when the center's rear end gets wet. Yeah. And that ball was slick and wet.
Another short field for Kansas City as they threaten now to claim the lead. 7-7. Marcus Allen has 5, has 8 to the 22 before Atwater can make the hit.
All right, here's Dick and Phil. Here's what I'm talking about. Look, watch this ball. Watch it when it comes out. Now they're going to in slow motion. See how wet the ball is? The ball is wet and it comes out of his hands. He never put the thing away.
Yeah, you know what happened? He hit. It looked like he hit his right arm on the back of one of his offensive linemen. I couldn't see which one it was right there, and that's what caused him to fumble the football.
Give Marcus Allen 9 yards on the spot at the 21. For the first down inside the 17-yard line before Dave Wyman and Alan Aldridge collaborate.
You see the way he sets up a linebacker? Marcus Allen runs. He looks like he's coming at the linebacker, and then he just makes that turn back into the hole and picks up the first down. That's beautiful. I want him to get his 100th rushing touchdown today. Yeah. There's a reason for that, folks. Yeah. And we're going to tell you about it soon. If he gets it, but only if he gets it.
Peyton, Brown, and Riggins, the only others in NFL history to rush for the century. Oh. Flag down. Appeared to be motion against Kansas City. Right tackle Jeff Criswell raised up, and there may have been a couple of backs.
False start. Number 66 on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
Sigler playing for Criswell at right tackle. They're sharing that responsibility. Former 49er. And how about San Francisco today with Elvis Gearback? Just smothered the Rams in St. Louis.
I watched the game, and the 49ers had 14 points and only had the ball for 7 seconds on the offense. They intercepted. Gerbach throws a pass, first one for a touchdown. Then the second pass is for a 2-point play. Unbelievable.
Faking to Anders and then throwing to Anders. Aldridge makes the tackle at the 15-yard line. Alan Aldridge, who played at Houston with Kimball Anders.
That was a good job by Steve Bono looking down the field first for the deep receiver. Nobody's open. Dropped the ball underneath to Kimball Anders for the short gain. And
2nd down and 9 for Kansas City.
But, you know, you kind of like the play call and what Bono did there because you can't get it all back.
That's right.
Davis and Dawson right. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Lake Dawson. 14 yards on the strike from Bono.
I'll tell you what. You don't ever question Bono's arm. I mean, this ball he fired, and Dawson was there. They beat Lionel Washington on the play, but that pass was perfect.
That was the play they were trying to run when they had the illegal procedure earlier. They got the same coverage again this time. They come back with a perfect play call, and that's one of the reasons why they were able to get the touchdown pass.
Remember, Elliott missed a fairly short field goal, 35. Has this extra point, and it's 14-7. So Elway's fumble, recovered by Simeon at the Bronco 30, leads to a quick score by Kansas City. Bono to Dawson, 14 yards.
And here's how the touchdown. Watch right here. You'll see, here's Lake Dawson right here. The tight end goes up here, gets rid of the safety. This safety is not getting in position. Lionel Washington is expecting help inside. It's not there. Steve Bono throws a strike right in there, the only place he can put it, and that's why he gets the touchdown.
But here's the pass. Watch this ball and how quick it gets there. I mean, that is a perfect pass right to Dawson in the end zone. He couldn't have thrown it any better.
And it's already been a happy weekend for both Bono and Dawson. Bono's Bruins of UCLA rallying to beat Stanford, and of course that incredible win by Notre Dame against Southern California yesterday that you saw on NBC as the Irish of Lou Holt show that they still got some muscle this season.
That's right. They know how to run the football. I will say that about Notre Dame. And just talking about Steve Bono, he did tell us, though, the wet balls would not bother him. And so far, he's thrown the ball with really velocity and gotten it down the field. And it's pretty impressive, really.
Where he always says it does bother him, and he's shown it today. Short kick by Elliott, very short. Taken by Aaron Craver. Craver crosses the 30 to the 32. Tracy Rogers and others. Anthony Davis in on the tackle. A reminder, we've had the pleasure of working the Breeders' Cup. It starts at 11:30 in the morning next Saturday in the East and 8:30 on the West Coast. The best thoroughbreds in the world racing $7 million races, capped by the $3 million Classic, and Cigar trying to extend what has been a wondrous winning streak.
There's my horse, Bubba. I'm riding that, baby.
Yeah, that's right. You ride that one. You might be able to stay on that one, Paul.
You'd have to cement him on that one. Trailing 14-7 in the snow showers. Elway underneath, short gainer, complete. Perhaps only a yard gain to Aaron Craver. But was tackled immediately by Mark Collins.
Mark Collins had a decision to make. Do I go for the interception, or do I wait for Craver to get the ball and make the tackle? He did the smart thing. He waited for Craver to get the ball, and then he made the tackle for a 1-yard gain.
Elway back in the no huddle. That was flipping and flopping to Terrell Davis, almost intercepted. Mark Collins was right there, and that ball had no spiral, significant spiral at all, just flopping its way.
Well, what's impressive is Kansas City showing the discipline right there. Mark Collins holding his ground, letting the offensive players coming towards him, reading the quarterback's eye. That's why we've almost seen a couple interceptions today.
But there's another example of what you're talking about, Dick, when the quarterback trying to guide the ball instead of throwing the ball in.
Yeah, he is not looking down the field right now. John Elway's looking underneath, and that's not what we're used to seeing from him.
Well, that's motion on Davis. He was going forward, and that'll nullify that game to Shannon Sharp all the way to the 39-yard line. But the cheering is false praise at the moment as Brian Washington and Shannon Sharp discuss tonight's game 2 of the World Series.
Well, you know, the thing about what the people thought is because the Kansas City Chiefs had someone step up into the line and looked like they might have gone offside, but they didn't. They didn't see Davis in motion. Here it comes.
Illegal motion, number 30 on the offense. 5 yards, still third down.
Third down. All right,
That's an unusual mistake from the rookie Davis. In fact, Elway, remember, early in the season said this kid right from day one in camp has made so few mistakes.
Well, on that play there, we saw Anthony Davis come to the line of scrimmage. He's the linebacker, number 50, but Davis goes up into the... You can't move. I mean, you got to be patient. First of all, Elway had to move him across on the play.
That wiped out the penalty. A 28-yard gain, the 2-minute warning.
A key battle in the AFC East. Jim Kelly and the Bills take on the Miami Dolphins. The Cleveland Browns battle touchdown king Carl Pickens and the Bengals. All regional action. The NFL on NBC. Made in America, played in America. Next Sunday.
In the snow at Mile High Stadium. 3rd down, 13 for Elway and the Broncos. 2 minutes left in the half. 14-7 Kansas City. Lots of time down the middle for Miller, incomplete. covered by James Hasty, who's done a solid job at the corner for Kansas City. Free agent unrestricted pick from the Jets. He and Brian Washington forming half of the Kansas City deep defense, coming from the Jets, who had a big win against Miami. So Miami will be trying to break a 3-game losing streak when we visit Joe Robbie next week against Buffalo. Ruin into punt for the 4th time, and Amaric Vanover at the other end. Vanover, fair catch at the 30-yard line. Leading 14-7, plenty of time for Bono and Kansas City. And speaking of Buffalo and Miami, Dan Marino, you think he'll play against Buffalo next week?
Absolutely. Practiced a little this week, and apparently today up in New York at Giant Stadium, he warmed up before the game, so he said he expects to be back, and we're looking forward to seeing him. That'll be one of the late games next week here on NBC. And 3 years ago in the AFC Championship, the Bills had an unstoppable play, that slip screen to Thurman Thomas, and it led to one of the 4 trips to the Super Bowl for Buffalo.
Now you could say 3 losses in a row for Miami. Marino's playing, pal.
It off into the flat to the Roy Thompson. He gets it back to the 30-yard line, the line of scrimmage.
Atwater is not in the game, Dick. They took him in for x-rays on his shoulder.
Now the top hitter in that defense for Denver out of action for the moment. Deep throw complete to Willie Davis. First down at the 44. Tyrone Braxton.
What a good throw by Steve Bono. You're going into a stiff wind right here now. Down the field, throws a shot right into Willie Davis.
Actually, that wind has turned a little bit. We got up on the scoreboard. It's going this way. Down on the field, it's coming back the other way.
Bono, the quick throw incomplete to Davis. That one seemed to slip out of his hands. As you see, some of the snow accumulating on the sidelines. As you see, it's gusting winds, and at the moment you look at the high flags, it's left to right, but down on the field, often in this horseshoe shape, you'll get the reverse effect for the passing.
One of the reasons why the hurry up too for Kansas City is they only have 1 timeout left.
Tim Houck has replaced Atwater. Incomplete through the hands of Keith Cash. And 3rd down now for Kansas City.
Right there, Steve Bono just rushed himself a little. He had Keith Cash wide open, but also he had Webster Slaughter to the left. He looked at him one-on-one, and he was open, but didn't want a chance throwing the ball down the field.
Slaughter reluctantly leaves the huddle as he is replaced. Webster Slaughter. 3rd down and 10. Danon Hughes in motion. Bono dumps it off, incomplete to Anders. That stops the clock with 49 seconds left in the half, and 4th down coming up. Harold Hasselbach, who grew up in Amsterdam, Holland, and family moved up to Canada. Hasselbach played in the CFL and has become a pretty good player here for the Denver Broncos.
Has a chance to get in there since Dan Williams, their outstanding defensive tackle, is out. So Hasselbach has been in there since he's been out and done a good job.
Milburn at the other end of this punt by Aguilar. Milburn lets it go, and it takes a favorable Denver bounce into the end zone. And a touchback at the 20 with 38 seconds left in the half. We remind you at halftime, the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Greg Gumbel will get the insights of a man who gave Kansas City a win here on this field a year ago in a dramatic fashion. Joe Montana, Joe Gibbs, and Mike Ditka, the Super Bowl coaches, also in our studios. They'll have all the scores and highlights from around the league and some more surprises today. Carolina and Jacksonville with quite a quinella. 2 timeouts left for Denver. Elway shotgun. Underneath. That's 11 yards. See if Elway uses a timeout. Yes, he does. Stops the clock with, well, it's still running. Should have stopped at 28 seconds. We'll take this commercial break. Coaching as a senior at Eastern Illinois. He was their quarterback, got an injury in spring training, lost a kidney, and had to quit football. And a year later he was coaching under Barry Switzer as a graduate assistant, went through the college ranks, and of course head coach with the Raiders, replaced by the man on the other side of the field, Art Shell, who's now the line coach of the Chiefs and now back as the head man here in Denver. First down at the 31, 27 seconds left in the half. Look at this one flopping freely. A dying quail, and a flag goes down. Anthony Miller was the only orange shirt near the play, and he went down, and they're going to wave off the penalty, I believe, as it was uncatchable.
I would say yes. I would say that's an uncatchable ball right there.
Well, you know, Anthony Miller could have had a chance to come back and get it.
Where? From off the bench? But watch John Elway right here. As he throws it, you'll watch he just thumbs it right away.
Pass was not catchable. There is no foul. Second down.
I tell you, there still was no. I still don't think there's any foul anywhere. Here's Hasty. Well, he's got his arm out. They're locked into each other.
Oh.
Miller pushes Hasty off.
That is a bad call. James Hasty gets in good position, turns and looks back to the ball. That's just how coaches teach you to do it.
That's exactly right.
But it's a worrisome problem for Denver and their fans. Elway having great difficulty throwing accurately in this wet weather. Another fly. It goes to McCaffrey, and McCaffrey, does he get out of bounds? Yes, with a first down at the 43, 15 seconds left in the half. But again, a kind of passes that you would expect to see out there on the sandlots outside Mile High Stadium.
Phil, is it because he grips it so tightly? What is it? Why can Bono throw the ball accurately, hard, and Elway can't?
Well, that's a good. I think that John squeezes the ball a little more with his hands, relies on his hand to throw the ball more than Steve Bono. Bono does it with his arm, and that's why they slip out of John's hand every once in a while. Wow.
Another one, and it's this is hardly comedic, but you couldn't try to throw the ball that badly.
You know, it was so interesting yesterday when we talked to Elway, and here we'll let you watch it, but we talked to Elway, and you looked at him, and he said, the first thing he said, you know, we looked at the weather, John, and it looks like it's going to be raining, and he always has a smile on his face. He says, boy, I hate the rain. A wet ball, I have trouble with it, and man, does he ever.
Another quarterback, Troy Aikman, cannot throw wet balls either, and it's just, like I say, it's the style, how you do it, and his style is just not conducive to throwing well in this kind of type of weather.
Changes the grip on the ball and then tries that one, and that's incomplete, as Van Johnson was the closest receiver with 5 seconds left in the half, and brings up 3rd and 10.
Hasty almost gets this one.
Well, as a coach, right here, you just say, well, we better fall on the ball because we're just avoiding disaster right here. And there even the shovel pass he flips here slipped out of his hand.
That's a Bubby Brister right there.
What you have to do now is put an extra offensive lineman, give John a towel, center the ball directly back, let him wipe it off, and then throw it.
Apparently, the supply of balls are all wet and slick at this point late in the half.
Dick, I'll tell you this. The bad thing is they're going to switch balls at halftime. They bring out new ones. But as a quarterback, it's much better once they get soaking wet. Then you can somewhat grab them and throw them.
Vance Johnson, the catch is good, but it's at the end of the half. Final second is ticked away. So John Elway and the Broncos will go into the locker room where, how can I get a decent grip and throw the ball accurately? It's 14-7. Kansas City will go to our studios after these messages from your local station.
Would you love to be in that huddle?
Neil, it's 3rd and long. We need you, little buddy. I think I'm ready. It's time.
What's this? Neil Smith eating a price chopper steak? Accidental face back. Neil Smith comes out of nowhere. Nails it. Beautiful.
Fat is the enemy of speed. Good thing you've got Price Chopper.
It's NBC on 41 in Kansas City.
Good.
Now for a rundown of all the scores on this mid-season day in the NFL, let's go to New York.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be great and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
All right, Dick, thank you. Welcome back, everyone, along with Joe Gibbs, Mike Ditka, Joe Montana. I'm Greg Gumbel. Here are the scores and highlights right now. First of all, at Mile High Stadium in Denver at halftime, the Kansas City Chiefs leading the Broncos by a score of 14-7. The difference in this game, a 15-yard touchdown pass from Steve Bono to Lake Dawson just before halftime. What are the keys to this game so far?
Well, the Denver defense is playing pretty well. You look at Bono, he's off to a slow start, 0 for 7. He picks it back up, starts getting in there. He's 10 for 18, has 1 touchdown pass. But the big key for Denver is that they're not making Kansas City work for these points. They get a long kickoff return, sets up the first touchdown for Bono's run. The second one, Elway fumbles on his own 30, sets up another touchdown for the Chiefs. They got to start making them work for it. You bet they're not out of it yet. They've still got a long way to go here.
All right, Joe, 14-7, the Chiefs in the lead. In Oakland, the Raiders have just taken the lead on the Indianapolis Colts, 17-10. Here's how it happened. Vince Evans, playing for the injured Jeff Hostetler, 46 yards to Rocket Ismail, who got behind the Colts secondary and then waited for the touchdown pass. There's the score. The extra point makes it a 17-10 Raider lead. Up until that point, you'd have to say the Colts have been playing some pretty tough defense.
They really are. They're going to have to play good defense. But in that drive right there, Evans picked them apart. They all play action, went right down the field. He hit Brown on a couple big third downs. I think one was 3rd and 17. They made it. And then he makes a big play action pass for a touchdown there. If they're going to win this game, they can't put all the pressure on the offense and Harbaugh. They've got to play good pass defense. That series was not good pass defense.
Key game for both teams. The Colts come in at 4-2. The Raiders come in at 5-2. It's the Raiders by a touchdown early in the second half. In Seattle, the Seahawks hosting the Chargers. The Chargers lead this one 25-10 at halftime. In Green Bay, the Packers and the Vikings are at the break at Lambeau Field, and they are tied at 14 apiece. Earlier today at Soldier Field in Chicago, the Bears by 3 over the Houston Oilers, 35-32 the final score. Walter Payton, one of the returning 85 Super Bowl champion Bears. Eric Kramer looks long with a 6-0 lead in the first quarter. Good idea, because he finds a wide open Curtis Conway. Nice catch, 76 yards in all. His 8th touchdown catch of the year. Kramer's 15th TD toss. He threw for a career-high 349 yards today. The Bears win at 35-32. At St. Louis, the 49ers rolled over the Rams. 44-10 was the final score. Elvis Gerbach quarterback because Steve Young out with a shoulder injury today. And this is Gerbach's first play from scrimmage. Rolls to his right and finds John Taylor, 35 yards downfield for the score. Gerbach making his first career start. 49ers in the lead 6-0. Chris Miller picked off for the 4th time today. Ken Norton never scored a touchdown in the NFL, returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns, both times celebrated by beating up on the goalpost. You'll have to ask him why. The 49ers win at 44-10. At the Meadowlands, the Jets, with perhaps the biggest upset of this day, over the Miami Dolphins, 17-16. The fans not happy with the results on the playing field or with the rates in the parking lot. 10-9 Jets in the third after a Johnny Mitchell fumble. Terry Kirby over the top to put the Dolphins up 16-10. But in the fourth quarter, Bubby Brister wins the battle of backup quarterbacks. He finds Johnny Mitchell, 3-yard touchdown, 17-16 New York. Just over a minute left. Miami looking to come back. Bernie Kosar picked off by Victor Green. The Jets snap a 4-game losing streak. The Dolphins drop their 3rd in a row. 17-16, the Jets win over the Miami Dolphins. Joe, what's the matter with the Miami Dolphins?
Well, I think everybody's trying to figure that out. Right now, the Dolphins are in a slide. I think you got to look at what's happening here. First of all, you don't expect a Don Shula team to turn the ball over like this 7 times in the last 2 weeks. And because of that, also, that complicates the defensive play. They've given up 77 points in the last 3 games. So I think there's enough blame to go around. The tough thing here, too, Greg, is they're looking at Buffalo coming to their place. They got to win games like they do, like today against the Jets, and certainly they got to get this thing turned around next week at home.
Jet defense came up with 4 takeaways and registered 3 sacks today. They win it by 1 over the Dolphins. In Tampa, Atlanta beat the Bucs today 24-21. The Falcons are 5-2. At Cleveland, the Jaguars win their 3rd against 5 defeats. They beat the Browns 23-15. In Washington, Darrell Green's interception in overtime. He returned at 7 yards for a touchdown. Redskins over the Lions 36-30. At Carolina, the Panthers move to 2-5 on the year. The Saints fall to 1-6, 20-3 over the New Orleans Saints. That's